Hey everyone, Linda here. Welcome back to AdoreR. Hope everyone's doing good and staying safe out there. Today I'm coming to you my June wrap up. Yeah, I know. It's late. But I've read a lot of books. I've read quite a few books and most of them have been on Kindle Unlimited. I'm getting my money worth out of Kindle Unlimited because I've just been downloading books. And I think I've maybe read about four or five books off of my TBR. And that's it. Everything else, Kindle Unlimited. First up, I have Bulky, and this is by Jessica Kane. I'm sure some of you out there have read Jessica Kane. If you like steamy romances with alpha male, over the top alpha male, and over the top steaminess, I'm sure you've read some of Jessica Kane. I really enjoyed this one. I've read quite a few of Jessica Kane last month and some this month, so I'm not going to go over all her books. I'm just going to go over the ones that I really enjoyed. And if you want to see what I rated her other books, you can go on my Goodreads and see what I rated those other books that I read by her, because I read quite a few of her books. I would just download a book. I was just reading all her books because I subscribe to her newsletter. So every time she put out a new book, I get an email saying that the book is out. And you know, she write her book. It's just little snippets. It's like a novella, maybe 96 pages. Maybe sometimes you might get a 100-page one, but usually it's 90 or 80 pages. So it's a quick read, and she do pretty much everything in that 80 or 90 pages. Some over the topness going on, but like I said, I really enjoyed this one. This is on Connor Craft and Josie. Connor has a son, and Josie is his son friend. They've been friends ever since they've been in high school, and she's always hanging out at their house. So of course, you know, she got a crush on her friend's dad, Gunner, who's, I think he maybe is late 30s and early 40s. And she just turned 18. Now she finna start trying to get him to notice her. Yeah, and he been trying to fight it. He put up a good fight, but let's just say he don't win that fight. And then from then on, it's insta lust. But I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4-star. And if you don't mind, older male with younger female, because I think she's 18, I think. And he's a lot older than she is. And if you don't mind that, I recommend Bulky by Jessica Kane. And next I have, let me see here. Next I read the Camaro Chronicles, the Mafia romance. I noticed on YouTube that a lot of people have been getting into Mafia romances, and I'm not a big fan of Mafia romances, but I've heard a lot of good things about the Camaro Chronicles by Carre. So I was like, let me go try it out. So I read book 1, which is Twisted Loyalties, and this is on, I think his name is Fabiano Scardevi and Leona. And this is, he's in the Mafia. I think he's enforcer for the Mafia, the Camaro gang, and they're located in Las Vegas, and he's the enforcer, and he meets Leona when she's new in town. She's just arriving in town, and of course, you know, she's young, and she gets, I forgot how he met her. I think she was standing out in the rain, and he offered her a ride or something, and that's how they meet. And he can't stop thinking about her. I think he tell her where she can get a job, and she goes and get a job at this I think it's a bar and he hangs out at this bar, and it goes from there. They start hanging out together, and she moved to Las Vegas. She's staying with her father, and let's just say her father, he needs some help. He's not a good father, and her mother's not too stable either. The father and the mother is not too stable. I think she left I forgot where she moved from, but she left her mother there because I think her mother is on drugs and stuff like that. And she was like, I had enough. I'm going to go out here and stay in Las Vegas with my dad. And yeah, that didn't work out too well either. But her, Leona and Fabiano, they get together, and it's going to be some contention there because something going to happen, and Leona going to get in trouble, and Fabiano going to try to help her out. Yeah, it's going to be some contention going on there. But I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. And then I read the second book in the Camaro Chronicles. Let me see what that was. That was Twisted Emotion. I enjoyed this one too. I gave this one 4 stars also. This is on Nino Falcone. And Fabiano, he came from another mafia family. Him and his dad didn't get along, so he went and joined the Camaro family. And Nino brother, I forgot what his brother name is. He's the boss, and Nino is the second in command of the Camaro Mafia. And then he gonna this is gonna be a marriage of convenience, and he gonna marry Karina Vitelli. She's from another mafia family, so they're gonna marry to keep the peace between the two mafia families. Yeah. So him and her are going to get married, and then he's going to find out something about her. You probably already heard about it. I'm not going to tell you what happened. On their wedding night, he's going to find out something, and it's going to go from there. And it's just going to be about them trusting each other and falling in love with each other. But I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 star. I did. Let me see. I gave it 4 stars. I think I did. I gave the first book and this book 4 stars. I mean, it wasn't nothing that I want to go back and read again. But I highly recommend the stories. I really, really enjoyed it. It kept me entertained. I didn't get bored. I didn't want to put it down. But there was none of those special moments either in book 1 or book 2 that make me want to go back and read these again. But I do want to continue with the series. I think I'm going to read the 3rd book in the series. And I think this is either 5 or 6 book series. I think I'm gonna stop at book 3 because I haven't heard a good thing about the other books in the series. But I think I'm gonna stop at book 3 because I do want to read about the I forgot what his name is, but he's the boss over the Camaro Mafia, and he's brother to Nino, and I can't think of what his name is, but I highly recommend book 1 and book 2. I really, really enjoyed them. Like I said, I rated them a 4, but it's nothing that I want to go back and read again. But I do want to continue and read the 3rd book in the series. I just haven't got around to it yet, but I will be doing that. Then I fell down the rabbit hole, people. I started reading. I found Georgia LeClaire. She's a new author for me this year. And I really, really enjoyed Saving Delaware. This will probably be on one of my favorites for 2021. This is on Gage West, but they call him Bone, and Delaware. And they meet. I think I mentioned this in because I actually bought the book. I'll show it to you. Got it over here. Here it is right here. I really, really enjoyed this. And like I said, I think I went over the synopsis of this when I did my haul and I showed you this book. But they meet at a grocery store when she's in line with her niece, and she's trying to get grocery and she don't have any cash on her. She's up there trying to put her card in the, trying to slide her card, and it's not working. And she's holding up the grocery line. So, Gage come up to the front and just pays for her groceries and walk off, and she get the bags and run after him because she tells her she can't accept that, and it goes from there, and they have a little argument there, and he ends up driving because she leaves she tells him that she put the grocery down and tell him that she's not going to take it because she don't want him to buy her anything that she can pay for. Her money hasn't hit the bank yet on her card. And he's not paying her any attention. He's the cool, the tall, dark and silent type. And he's just looking at her, and he tell her he do want something from her, if you know what I mean. But she just look at him like whatever. And she leaves the grocery there, but he don't pick it up. He just takes off and drive off on his motorcycle. Yes, he has a motorcycle and a leather jacket. So she go back and pick up the grocery, but she sees him again because she works 2 jobs. She works at a diner, and she also works at a bar. And she meets him at the diner again, and she meets him at the diner, and that's when she go over and talk to him and tell him that she, you know, she want to pay for the groceries. She want to pay him back. And it goes from there because he's in a motorcycle club, and I'm not going to tell you anything else about it. But I really, really enjoyed this. I highly, highly recommend it. I gave this a 4.5 stars. You got the alpha male. You got the and yeah, there's some sexual situations going on in here. So if you don't like the alpha male and you don't like a lot of sexual content in your novels, this might not be for you. But I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the 2 main characters. I fell in love with both of them. I highly, highly recommend this if you don't mind alpha male and sexual content in your books. And this is Saving Delaware by Georgia LeClaire. Next up I have Redemption. And this is Raven and Constantine. I can't pronounce his last name. And this is kind of like, he's like a hitman. And he meets Raven when she's out with her friends. And she ends up leaving the club because I think she said she wanted to go home or something. She just ends up leaving the club. How you going to leave the club? You're going to just take off walking. You're not going to call a cab or nothing. You're just walking in at night. Yeah, that's how people get killed. And that's how she got accosted by some guys. But Constantine shows up and he take care of those guys and get rid of them. And they have a connection. But it's some... yeah, he got something else going on too with the whole situation, but I'm not going to go any further than that. But that's how they meet, and they continue to meet, and things progress from there. But I didn't like this one as much. I gave this one like a 3-star or 3.5 star. I can't remember, but I didn't like it as much. It was okay. You still got the alpha male if you want. If you were like reading about hitman and hitman with secrets that concern the heroine, yeah. And I think she has a daughter. I think so. And she lived with Raven lived with her friend. I think they lived together and with her daughter. And it just go from there. I enjoyed it. I'm not good at explaining these stories, as you can see, but I enjoyed the story. I give it a 3.5 star. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Saving Delaware, but I would recommend it if you don't mind, if you like reading those kind of mystery guy and he's kind of like an assassin. Yeah. And then next, like I said, I fell down the rabbit hole. Next I read A Kiss Stolen by Georgia LeClaire. And this is if you hear some paper rattling over here, it's me because I don't wrote all this stuff down so I can remember. Like I said, I'm gonna start when I read 3 books. I'm just gonna come on here and do a wrap up because yeah, I got too many books I need to go over. This is on Liliana and Bran, and Bran and his dad used to work because Liliana's dad is he's rich, and Bran and his dad work for them, and I think they used to do the gardening and, you know, taking care of the yard, lawn work, taking care of the yard and stuff like that. But Bran fell in love with Liana. They were young. Maybe she was 12 or 13 and he was maybe 14 or 15. But he had a crush on her, and he ends up kissing her one day, and she runs away and tells her dad, and it ends up causing his Bran and his dad to get fired. And when Bran and his dad make it home, because his dad is fussing at him, something is going to happen when they get home that's, yeah, it's not going to be good. And they're going to call Bran to have a big grudge against Leanna's family, and he's going to want revenge, and he's going to end up kidnapping her. So that's all I'm going to tell you about that. I gave this a 3 or 3.5 stars. But it was okay. You got the over-the-top alpha male, and we got some sexual content going on in here, and some kidnapping. If you don't mind reading about the kidnapping, your alpha male. But like I said, I recommend her writing. Georgia LeClaire, she's an excellent writer. She's a pretty good writer, and I enjoyed it. Like I said, I gave it 3 or 3.5 stars, and you can check it out. Next I have Beauty in the Dark. I really enjoyed this one. This is another one that I gave a 4.5 star to. I think I told you, and I also bought this book. I think I mentioned before, if I really like a book, I got to have the actual physical copy. So here it is right here. Beauty in the Dark. And this is on Sophia. I can't pronounce her last name. Sophia and Jack. I think his last name is Jack Irish, and her name. Sorry guys, my camera went out. So this is on Jack and Sophia. Sophia, her father, and she's Russian. Her father sold her off to this guy as a sex slave when she was real young. So yeah, trigger warnings for child abuse. I skipped over that part. I was like, no. And she ends up. And most of Georgia LeClaire books are based on other characters from other books. I wouldn't say this is, I don't know. I don't think this is in a series, but it's characters. Most of her books are connected. So just when you go into it, just know that most of her books are connected. And some of them, I think one of them is I don't think these are listed as in a series. I don't think so. But they're connected with another book because in this book, her sister, in another book, I don't know what book it is, but her sister married this guy, and he's a rich guy. So they've been looking for Sophia, and they finally find her, and her sister's husband come there and pay the guy who owns her. Yeah. And he rescues her. He give the guy quite a bit of money and rescue her from her situation. And she ends up staying with her sister and her husband at their house. And she live in because he's another billionaire, I think. And it's like he got a tower there or something connected to the house. I don't know if they live in some kind of castle or something. But she, Sophia lives up in the tower part, and she's just going through a lot of stuff, trauma and stuff like that, and she's trying to get over it, and her sister's trying to help her. And one day her sister comes to her, you need to get out. We're going to a party, and I would like for you to go with me. And Sophia don't want to go at first, but then she ends up going, and that's the first time she ends up meeting Jack. And Jack is a doctor. He got some complication going on too. So we got two people who got some that had some trauma in their lives. But I really enjoyed it. Really good story. And Jack, he's like a little alpha male there going on. Most of her books are alpha male with very disturbing situation going on. I forgot to mention something, because she write those hard hitting books. And some of these books, it might not be for you, like this one right here, because I had to skip over some of the stuff that was up in here. But I still enjoyed the story. I really enjoyed the story. I highly recommend it. But like I said, warning for child abuse up in here, yeah, at the first couple of pages. And this is Beauty in the Dark. I enjoyed it, and I read this off. I got this off of Kindle Unlimited. I got, like I said, I discovered Georgia LeClaire off of Kindle Unlimited. So if you got Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. And then I read Nanny and the Beast by Georgia LeClaire, and this is on. I think he's Russian, and this is on Yuri and April. And Yuri, he's a Russian billionaire. Yeah, Georgia LeClaire, she like her billionaires. He's a Russian billionaire, and he needs a nanny for his niece. And April, that's what she does for a living. She's a nanny, and she goes and interview for this job, and yeah, they're attracted to each other right away. And that's why he said he's not going to hire her. He don't want to hire her. Because something happened between them while they in his office talking, and he was like, nope, I don't need to hire you, because yeah, this is not going this is not going to work out. So she's leaving when the little girl, that his niece, come running out to her and really likes her and stuff like that. And Yuri eventually said, okay, I'll hire you, and it's going to go from there. So it's going to be about them trying to fight their attraction, but as you know, it's not going to work. And I enjoyed this one, but it was not my favorite. I gave it like a 3 or a 3.5 star. And that's Nanny and the Beast. And like I said, Georgia LeClaire, she write about some hard-hitting stuff, so just be aware of that. Because I can't remember if there was a trigger warning in this one or not. I can't remember. But just be aware that Georgia LeClaire, she writes some hard-hitting books that might have some trigger warnings. So just do your due diligence and check out the books and read the synopsis or whatever. Because, yeah, she writes some hard-hitting books. Next I read, let's see here. I read Sexy Beast, and this is by Georgia LeClaire. And this is, I think this is in a 3-book series. It says a bad boy romance, but I think this is like the Gypsy series, because I think he's a Gypsy or something like that. And I think this is in the Gypsy. I think I downloaded the whole series because I don't have this book right here because this cover, this is the Kindle Unlimited cover, and I didn't like the cover that they had on the actual book, so I didn't get the book because I wanted this cover right here. And so I didn't get the actual book, but I enjoyed this one. I gave this one also a 4.5 stars. And this is on, let's see here, Layla Eden and Billy Joe Parkinson or Pilkington. And this started off with her family knows his family, and her family is rich because her brother, he got another book in this. I don't think it's in this series, but her brother is from another book by Georgia LeClaire. I think I downloaded that book too, but I haven't read it either. And they meet when I think he's throwing a party. It's a party going on at his house, I think. And Layla shows up because he thinks she's like a rich spoiled girl or something. And I forgot how they knew each other, but I don't think her brother and him get along or something. Or it had been some contention between their families, but he's throwing a party. I forgot what he was throwing at his house, and she ends up there. And she ends up telling her friend she needs to go to the restroom, and she ends up going upstairs or wherever the restroom is, and she looking around his house, and she end up in his bedroom where she shouldn't be, and he shows up, and yeah, and something gonna happen there. Yeah. And then after that scene, they're gonna meet again. They have a little something in the bedroom going on, and then they meet again at his club. I think he owns a club, and because when they meet in the bedroom, she can't stand him and he can't stand her, but something happened. And then they meet again at the club. They have like that eye-to-eye contact, and they know that something is between them two, even though they don't like each other. Yeah, and it's just about them ending up getting together, and she hasn't told her family yet, and he wants to tell her family because, like I said, I think it's some kind of contention going on between their two families. And he like, look, I just want to tell them that we're together, but she... no. And then something else going to happen with her. Like I said, Georgia LeClaire has some hard-hitting stuff in her books, and I don't want to tell you what's going to happen, but something's going to happen in this one. But I really enjoyed this one, and like I said, if they had had this cover on the book, I would have bought it, and I gave this a 4.5 star. And this Sexy Beast by Georgia LeClaire. And then I read Maggie Cole. This is another book I was hearing about on YouTube with the Mafia romances. This is Maggie Cole's Ruthless Stranger, and this is this is book 1 in her series Mafia Wars, or the Ivanov family. And this is let me see here. This is on Maxim and Aspen. Maxim meets Aspen when Aspen has just got a divorce from her husband. And since she's got the divorce, her friends want to take her to Las Vegas. So they plan a trip. She don't want to go, but they end up forcing her to go, and she ends up going to Las Vegas. And that is where she meets Maximum, because Maximum is there with his brother. His brother's getting ready to get married, and they are having a bachelor party in Las Vegas. And they meet each other there. Her friends, you know, tell her she needs to get back on the horse. They find her a man and stuff like that. And Aspen like, look, I don't want to fool with no man. I'm done. I'm done, son. And she said the only way she want to meet anybody is she want to be blindfolded. She don't want to know who he is. She don't want to have any kind of connection with him. She just want to be blindfolded, and then they can make out. And Maxim happened to hear her talking about this, so he when he sees her friends going to the bathroom or something, he said, "Look, I'll be that man that I can blindfold her, and we don't have to have no connection. Look, I'm volunteering." So that's how him and Aspen end up together, and it goes from there, and they just have the one night stand. It's supposed to be a one night stand, but they end up getting together one more time before they have to leave and go their separate ways. But I think I mentioned before, I hate when books be like, you meet this person, then you end up meeting them in the workplace, because this is what happened here. Because Maxim is trying to get some land approved or buy some land that him and his brother wants to develop, and Aspen happens to work at this place because both of them end up coincidentally living in Illinois. So that's how they meet again, and it's going to go from there. And Maximo don't like to say that he's in the Mafia. He just say that it's not the Mafia. That's what he says. It's not a Mafia. But look, him and his brother be doing things like it's the Mafia. Because they own real estate properties. You know, on the surface, they're doing things legit. But on the down low, it's more like they're in a Mafia. But he don't want to call it like a Mafia. But yeah, it is what it is. And I enjoyed this one. I gave this a 4-star. It's not a book that I want to go back and read again, or I would purchase. It just was a good story. I enjoyed it for what it was. And I did read book 2 in the series. This is an ongoing series too. Let me see what book 2 was. Broken Fighter, I think it was. Yeah. Broken Fighter by Maggie Cole. And this was on Boris Ivanov and Nora O'Malley. Both of them are from different, the Mafia family. I think her family is Irish. And he's Russian. If I didn't say Maxim and Boris and their brothers. And this is on Boris and Nora's story. Star-crossed lovers, if you want to say. Because Nora family don't want her getting involved with, even though Boris is friend with her brother. But we can't have no marriage going on in the situation. We can be friends. He can be friends with me, but he can't be messing with my sister. That kind of scenario. But so they be sneaking around with each other. So it's a lot of that going on. And something else going to end up happening. I'm not going to go into it. But I enjoyed this one also. And I gave this a 4-star. But it's nothing that I want to go back and read again. It was just good enough to make me want to continue with the story. So I haven't read book 3 or anything, but I'm sure that I will. I just read book 1 and book 2. 2 good books beginning to a series. I really, really enjoyed them. And I love these covers. Make me want to just buy them for the cover, but I'm not gonna look. I don't need to be buying books just for the cover, and I'm not gonna read them again. But I recommend them. I gave both of those 4 stars. I read The Office Party by Whitney G. I gave this 3 stars. It was okay. It wasn't that special. This is on Samantha and Garrett. Garrett is Samantha's boss. He's very attracted to her, and she don't know it because they can't get along. They always arguing with each other. Well, she's always arguing with him, even though he is her boss. I think she just got promoted. She's like a director or something. And they are always working close together. And she's very good at her job. And he's had a crush on her for a while. And he always have this Christmas party. They don't exactly get Christmas off. They have to go to this Christmas party. It's some kind of mandatory Christmas party that they have to go to. And she's always trying to duck out of it. And he ends up, because she told him she couldn't make, she was sick or something. I guess he went to her house and didn't find her. And he found out where she was. Her and her sister was on vacation somewhere else. And he shows up. I enjoyed it. It's funny. It was a good read. I gave it 3 stars. I'll put it like 3 or 3.5 stars. I enjoyed it. It was okay, but it was nothing I want to purchase or read again or anything like that. But It's got a lot of steamy. If you read Whitney G before, it does have a lot of steaminess in it. So be warned if you don't like that in your romances. Next up I have, what else did I read here? I finally read Mr. Garcia, because I've been looking forward to this, by T.L. Swan. And let's just say I wasn't very happy. I gave this, I think I gave this 4 stars. It didn't, yeah, I usually give her books 4.5 stars or 5. I think I gave one, but did I give one of her books 5 stars? I can't remember, but this one didn't do it for me too much. This is on, his name is Sebastian and the female name is April. They meet at a coffee shop. He comes in there and get a coffee all the time, and she kind of have a crush on him, and he likes her too because she can't make coffee. I'm like, why are you working at this coffee shop? You can't even make coffee out of the coffee machine at the coffee shop. She always giving him bad coffee because she see him when he walks out. She always run to the mirror and look and watch him walk away, and she see that he be throwing his coffee away. But so she know he likes her because he keep coming back and getting coffee from her, and that's how they meet. She's in college there. She's an American, and I think this is set in London, and she's an American and he's from London. And she got a scholarship to go to school in London. So she's going to school there. And I think she's in her 20s. And he'd been married before, and she just got a divorce. And he's also been married too, and he's divorced. And so I guess when she got a divorce, she decided to go back to school and so go back to college. And like I said, she got a scholarship to go to college over in England. So that's how they meet, and she's living in the dorm with these young people, and they're partying every night. She says she can't get any sleep, so she wants to make enough money so that she can move out from the dorms and stuff. So her friend ends up telling her about this club. Yeah. And she goes there and she gets hired there, and she ends up meeting Mr. Garcia there also. And they're looking at each other like, what are you doing up in here? Because, yeah, it's one of those clubs. Even though the lady who owned the club said, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. And the females get to pick the men. The men don't get to pick the females. So they're going to be their little contention there. The story was okay. It just didn't... I didn't connect with either one of the characters, and it looked like it was rushed. To me, it seemed like the story was very rushed, but I still enjoyed it. I still gave it a 4 star, but it's just nothing that I want to read again or I'm going to purchase. So I just gave this 4 stars, and this is and it also have a time jump in here because Sebastian and April, something going to happen between them, and they're going to end up breaking up, and then they're going to have a time jump going on. But this one didn't do it for me. I just gave it 4 stars, but I still recommend it. T.L. Swan is an excellent writer. She have excellent. I love her dialogue writing because, like I always said, dialogue makes the story move really, really quick when you have good banter between the two main characters. And then she does have good banter in here. You got the alpha male, and you got... T.L. Swan write very steamy books, so be aware of that. I would recommend it. Check it out because maybe you'll like it, but I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite of hers. And this is Mr. Garcia by T.L. Swan. Let's see, what else did I have on here. I also read, here's something else. I read Wolf Gone Wild by Juliette Cross. And this is on, let's see, did I write that on here? With Mateo Cruz and Evie Savor. I enjoyed this one. I gave this a 4 star. This is book 1 in the Stay a Spell series, Wolf Gone Wild. Mateo is a shapeshifter. He can shift into a wolf, and Evie is a witch. I've been looking for books that got witches in it. So, yeah. So, when I heard about this, I was like, let me check it out. I really, really enjoyed it. I gave this a 4 star. It's on Mateo can't change. So his wolf is driving him crazy because he can hear his wolf talking to him in his head, about to drive him nuts because he can't change. He can't at the I guess with the full moon his body won't change, and he's just very, very frustrated. And he hear about Evie, and so he goes to their store. They own some kind of like store, and he goes there and meet her, and he wants her to. She's a spell. She do spells. She's very good at making spells and casting spells on stuff to help people. So he wants her to help him find out why he can't transform into his wolf. Because he tell her that his wolf about to drive him crazy. So it ends up with her trying to help him, and it goes from there because her older sisters really don't want them to be involved because they don't have anything to do with shift shifters and stuff like that. But Evie ends up trying to help him, and it goes from there. I really, really enjoyed this story. I gave it a 4 to a 4.5 star. I put it like that because I would go back and read this again, and I want to continue with the series. So I'm looking forward to reading book 2 in this series, and I highly, highly recommend it. I really, really enjoyed it. Let's see, did I have anything else on here? I think that's it. And that's all I have. I'm going to come back and I want to do a wrap up of my, let you know what I read for the historical readathon and wrap those up. And I got a few more books over here that I'm going to go over. But that's it for now because this video is pretty long. And I hope I gave you a good enough description that if you want to check it out, you can check them out for my description because I'm not good at wrapping up books, as you can see. But that's all I have for now. Until next time, keep reading those romances, and I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.